what's up YouTube? ODST General back again. I'd like to apologize for the hiatus here. I've actually recorded a video for you guys that was supposed to get released a couple of days ago, but I've been having some issues with my mic, and when I tried to release that video, when I put it through my movie maker, it said it was corrupted. And then I had a video I've been sitting on since September, which wouldn't have been as popular. I know you guys wouldn't have liked it as much, but I tried putting that out just to get some content out to you guys. And unfortunately, that just happened to be corrupted too. I think the reason for that one being corrupted was different than the other one, but my mic seems to be working okay again. I don't know what's causing this to happen, but it kind of goes back and forth here where it's working okay and then it's not. Anyways, I forgot I was going to show you guys what the job is we're working on here, but I at least need to mark on the map because we actually got to go this way. It gets me every time because I always forget it goes to mark the construction yard, or the construction zone, or the construction yard, whatever you want to call it, instead of the actual goal, which in this case we need to go to the material dealer. I know I could just skip to the dealer and skip driving in there, but just because this is my first episode of doing this for you guys, I'm going to drive through. I'm going to get what you guys would prefer me to do. If you guys would rather I drive in third person or just skip when it's possible, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just continue driving in first person where applicable and you know, just wing the rest. So we need to get in there. That doesn't look like an entrance. We're going to cheat a little bit here. I don't think that was... I don't know. This didn't work out. I forgot. I didn't know those bars were there. We're going to super cheat here, guys. I apologize. We're going to break a couple laws right now. Alright. Well, we got where we needed to be, and we didn't even run anybody off the road. We're going to drop those sides off here. And we need 3 drain pipes. Nothing too crazy to get us started. Those are small, so we're going to rent a forklift. Now, I switch between my 360 controller that I have hooked up and my mouse and keyboard, just because I find certain vehicles are a little bit better in each. I find it's a lot easier to use the controller for the forklift and the excavator, whereas on the bigger things like the trucks, it's easier to use them, at least when you're driving from site to site, with the mouse and keyboard. Although when you're controlling arms like the crane on this and the was it the cement? I forget what it's called. The not the actual cement truck, but the other one, the one that actually like spreads it with the pipe on a boom. I apologize, guys, because I'm surely going to run into a whole bunch of stuff and it's going to be miserable like that. Just like that. Oh god, and like my forklift's like turning like weird angles and stuff here. Oh my god. Oh my god, let it go. Oh, it's fastened still. I don't know how that happened. I tilted it back up. Oh gosh, that was awful. I do apologize if the audio is goofy. I will kind of skip through it just to see how it turns out. But it's been 3 days since my last video, and it's going to be longer by the time this actually gets put up. So, once again, I do apologize, guys. Let's get that pulled up. Got pushed back some. I'm making this way harder than it needs to be. I really am. But this is what happens when you do these 2 a.m. recording sessions, which almost every one of my recent videos has been like recorded at like 2 a.m. Yeah, it's 1:46 right now. It's a little early. Let's go ahead, strap that down. It's kind of an interesting job strapping it. Of course, then again, you could say the same thing about the way I put it on there in the first place. So we're going to do that. Back in the truck, put our sides up, and hit the old dusty trail. Since we are stopped here, I am also going to just show you what the job is. So we're doing a house extension, which wouldn't necessarily seem like a major deal, but we've got $139,000 riding on this contract. We're going to have to ship cargo. We're going to need a dump truck. We're going to need cement mixers and a crane. So there's going to be a lot of stuff involved in setting up this house. So it should be a fairly interesting contract, I'm hoping. Get turned around here, and we're on our way. So one thing that makes this a little bit better for me, at least, is that it doesn't require a huge amount of thought. You know, obviously if I get really into something or I screw something up, I might talk less. But for me, you know what, since I play a lot of games, I like to concentrate and I like to try and not screw up. So I tend to spend a little bit too much time not commentating, but playing the game instead. And so if I get into like RTSs and stuff, when I play those, I can get really into them, and sometimes I forget I'm actually supposed to be talking to you guys instead of just playing the game, like if I'm not recording for YouTube. I'm gonna catch every red light going out of here, aren't I? On the bright side, though, you guys don't have to see like the last video I recorded for this because it is corrupt, and that was pretty hard to watch. There was a lot of screw-ups in there. Alright, let's go. Full speed ahead. Now, one thing I would say is if you're watching this and you just got this as part of the Steam sale and you haven't played it or something, really, guy? That was a dick move. Anyways, what I was starting to say is, if you just got this, when it offers to move your base to the city like it has for me, just hold off on it. It's not really worth it. You can get up to like level 8 and you get workers that you can do separate jobs. You can just send your worker out on your job to help build money real fast when you're not doing anything. Like say you just got some spare time, you got like 5-10 minutes in between tasks or something, you throw on the game and you just tell your worker to do jobs while you're waiting, and that can bring in thousands of dollars, and you can build up money real fast, and then you don't have to worry about paying anybody off because time's not passing just the way it's set up. Every red light. At least that one wasn't too bad. Don't. See, these AI cars are pretty smart, but once in a while you'll get one that just does something really stupid, and you never know which one it's going to be. Kind of like real life, actually, when you think about it. Of course, then again, I have no room to talk, having just driven on a sidewalk less than like 10 minutes ago. So the construction site's just right up ahead here. It's impressive that I can see its turn signal from like up here at this angle. So this is it right here on the right. Oh yeah, that's kind of a cool looking house. Where's our supplies going here? Oh, just right there on the ground. So we don't have to do anything incredibly complex yet. Although I'm sure we're going to have to at some point here. The first thing we're going to do, since we're on scene here, we're going to extend our... oh my gosh, I can't remember what they're called. Just having all sorts of brain farts tonight. I should know what these things are called. Outrigger, duh. Especially because I've not only been playing this, but trucks have those as well in the fire service. Yeah, ladder trucks. Alright, get that stuff unattached. And we're going to press our B button on my 360 controller here. We're going to extend our crane out. We're going to start unloading this stuff here. Thankfully, well, yeah, I say thankfully. I'm not really a huge fan of the digging. Like, the digging can be kind of fun, but it gets a little bit tedious pretty quick for me. I don't know why this, like, the crane work doesn't really get too tedious for me. But the digging kind of does. Maybe it's because the digging takes a lot longer. Especially the last job I had. I hadn't done any digging jobs for a while, and I saw one, and it was like a high amount of money, so I figured, okay, you know, this might be a lot, you know, a big hole, but I'll go ahead and do it anyways. I'll probably just have to, like, be smart how I dig it out. And it took forever. It really did. Close enough. They're good, right? Just go ahead and toss the pipes right on down there. Oh, gosh. Kind of an interesting setup they have here with their house. You know, I don't know who extends a house like this. Alright. So that's one task completed. Transport 8 earth from, or 8 cubic meters of earth from the gravel pit. So for this one, we're just going to get our outriggers down, and we're going to go ahead and transfer over to our other truck here. I don't think this one has dump truck capabilities. I think it's just solely, well, I don't know. It's got that back that comes down, so it might have some sort of dump truck capabilities, and it is much larger than the other truck, but as far as I've seen, it doesn't actually have the capability to raise its cargo bed. So we're going to go ahead and lower the outriggers and retract them. And we're going to also go ahead and close up that. So let's see here. If this is, yeah, if this was a raising cargo bed, it would go up now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch vehicles. We're going to go to our small flatbed truck. And we're going to have a bit of a trip on our hands here. So let's go ahead and mark this. We need to get up to here. Now, we're already at 13 minutes, so for the sake of time, I think we'll go ahead and do this first trip there and back, but then after that we're going to just teleport back to that location. Solely for the fact that this thing only holds 4 cubic meters, which means we'll have to make 2 trips. And we're going to catch every red light once again. Oh, cool, no. We might catch all the greens. That would be awesome. I kind of doubt it, but that would be very cool. I always got to remember, and I forget like every time I drive by, but that is an uncontrolled intersection, so just got to be wary of that going through there. Actually, run. Can get through there real fast. There we go. Common sense said I should have just waited for the light to go red and just waited it out, but you know, we're on a rush here. You know, we're going into our next month. We got money to make, bills to pay. I have no idea how much I'm going to pay per month now even. I haven't even looked at that because I ended up buying the cement truck and the thing that spreads it out, Like I said, I can't remember the name, but I don't know how much that cost is going to add to my fleet. Plus, I have a second foreman so that I can actually send my worker out on other jobs, which I'm not doing right now just because it gets these tasks muddled, and it'll start to try and divert me to his construction job just because that becomes a current task. And then it throws me off. I end up driving around to a completely wrong job or to a wrong place, thinking I'm going somewhere else because I didn't see when it switched on the mini-map. Alright, let's get going over the bridge here. So this is, you know, I've watched some gameplay videos of this, enough to see that I wanted it. But I was actually pretty surprised by the size of the map. Like, it looked kind of big. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where it's a pretty big map. It's not huge, but for what the game is, I'm actually kind of surprised how sizable it is. Now, with that being said, I don't know if it's going to get repetitive really fast, because even though the map's pretty big, the areas you work in are pretty similar for the most part. Because a lot of the videos out there are like special tasks and stuff. I mean, obviously as you rank up though, you do start to see more and more complex builds and stuff. Well, you still get the smaller stuff like cargo transport and real minor and basic things like that. I also suspect that at some point down the road it will be beneficial to have some basic units like this, not only in the city, but back at the original base too, just because I have seen some jobs pop up closer to there than the city. And I hadn't really known for sure when I bought that, or when I took that new building, that would be the case. Oh my god, I totally passed by where I need to go. I was so distracted by the traffic. I'm sorry, guys. I should probably use my turn signal while doing that, but obviously traffic was clear. Now I'm in a rush to get back. Yeah, I've never come from this way though, so that's kind of nice. I hate that intersection though. That intersection's the worst, and I have to come back down through it too. That's gonna suck. The only reason I don't like it is because you have to look behind you, and you can't see that far. You can't turn your head that far to look, and you have no mirror and no backup camera. There's a lot of traffic for this pass. Normally you don't see this much either. It's usually a pretty desolate road by the time you get up here. I suspect it'll probably cost me about 30 or 40,000 for the payment of everything this month. It's coming pretty close here to needing to pay that. Alright, 4 cubic meters, we're ready to go. It's kind of expensive. It's 2,000, so we're going to be dropping 4,000 on this altogether. We're going to make our trip back to the construction site real quick here. We're just going to mark it on the map and we'll be set to go. Thankfully, the trip to the construction site won't be as bad as the trip from the base. For 2 reasons. One, obviously, it's not as far, which is a big reason. But the other being, of course, the fact that it's on country roads. We'll hit the edge of the city, but we won't have to deal with nearly as many stoplights. We'll have a few stop signs, which we can kind of cheese our way through some. Not that you get tickets or anything for poor driving. I mean, if I wanted to, I could just drive on the grass the whole way through. And, you know, go at like 150 miles an hour, but just for realism's sake, we do it this way. I mean, it is a simulator after all, so you want to try and simulate. So this is what I'm talking about. So see, I gotta try and see behind me. This thing doesn't start very quick. Like, it gets out pretty slow. And you're basically forced to go out there without being able to see what's to your left. Get that turn signal off and get this one on or not, maybe. I don't know. So we do have one or two red lights, like I said, we'll have to deal with here, but nothing too bad. That one's turning green. And we're going to make another left turn right around this corner here. So that'll be your second one. That one's turning green already. This guy's really far back, though. That's kind of unusual. I don't know why, but I'm kind of angry at that guy. He's like, obviously, yeah, he could turn or go straight, and the lane did say that, but he's just sitting way back in that lane, just kind of doing his own thing, taking up all that space. Okay, so we've got our first load. Like I said, we're at 21 minutes now, so it took us about 7 minutes to get there and back. And if you guys stuck around for 7 minutes of that, I do appreciate it. This truck's in the way. It looks like we gotta dump it in there. I kind of suspected that might have been the case, but didn't know for sure. Now we do. See, it sounds like there's a turn signal on in here. That was odd, but okay. So we're gonna go ahead, get in here again. And what's gonna be the best way to do this? So I hope it took it all, but I suspect it didn't. It doesn't look like it did. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and transport back there. We'll about it one more time. If it took, great. If it didn't, we're just going to have our AI come and fill in the gravel. It's kind of buggy like that, and I suspect what you need to do is you need to dump it in at a slower rate and kind of back up as you do it or something, or drive forward as you do it. But I mean, to drive forward while you're doing that would mean that you're like inside the hole, which is going to be problematic in and of itself. He really wants me to buy a new vehicle. There's, oh yes, 41,000. Pretty expensive. We're going to make up for it with this job here.